Hello everyone. Today I'll be discussing the Arcturian light beings and the role that they are playing in assisting humanity, the collective consciousness and Gaia with the Ascension process. The Arcturians are the magicians of the universe, and they have extremely advanced technology that is assisting with removing darkness from the earth plane and also assisting with the coding, the light codes, the high frequency light that is flooding the earth plane, that is upgrading our DNA, our chakra energy centers, that is upgrading Gaia simultaneously. The Arcturians with this technology are involved and are at the forefront with other light beings, although the Arcturians are very much at the forefront of this ascension. They are involved with the technology that allows for the triggering of the coronal mass ejections, the solar flares, the light emissions that flood the earth plane. The Arcturians with this technology code the light and trigger these emissions. When the light floods the earth plane, the light codes the plasma, floods the earth plane. We are receiving the upgrades as light workers. Our DNA is being activated, our chakra energy centers are being activated, upgraded, and coming online, strengthening our connection with our multidimensional aspects, with our guides, with the beings of light. When the light floods the earth plane and we go through these upgrades and activations, when embodying the light, taking on more light. That's why when we take on more light, we go through the purge stages. We go through the ascension symptoms because we are releasing the density from the physical vessel while we are going through the activations and embodying more light. The ascension symptoms, the purge stages. While we are doing this, we are grounding the light into the earth grids. We are grounding the light individually and collectively as light workers, and the light flooding the earth plane, and through this process of grounding the light into the earth grids, the light codes, the plasma makes its way down all the way to the center of the earth, and this high frequency light, the highly charged plasma, which is highly conductive, charges up the Earth's core. So the Earth's core is charged up. And when it is charged to its fullest capacity, there is an overflow of light, which I have discussed before. If you'd like to go have a look at a previous video where I spoke about the Schumann resonance whiteouts and blackouts, I discussed this in great detail as to why we are seeing the spikes, the whiteouts, the blackouts, and also I put together a graphical representation of the energy, the color coding on the Schumann resonance graph and the meaning behind this. So the Earth's core is charged up, there's an overflow of light. Plasma being highly conductive, we see lightning discharges take place. We see activity in the ionosphere. We see disturbances and activity in the magnetosphere. We see this in the electromagnetic field. Everything becomes highly conductive due to the charge being released, light bursting back up through the Earth's surface, everything being highly conductive. This entire process is assisting with removing density beneath the Earth's surface that has acted as a blockage, has acted as resistance to the ascension of the collective consciousness and Gaia for many, many, many generations. So the Arcturians are at the forefront of this and are involved in removing this darkness, releasing, transmuting this density, not only from our physical vessels, on a human level, but also beneath the Earth's surface. There is a direct correlation between the human physical form and Gaia. Gaia is alive. She is consciousness. Gaia also has Kundalini energy. It is consciousness. And Gaia also has density, also has blockages. And through this entire process, with the assistance of the Arcturians and other beings of light within the Galactic Federation of Light, are assisting with dissolving, transmuting, and releasing this density. All in the name of raising our frequency, raising our vibration, the ascension of the collective consciousness and Gaia simultaneously. So through this process, you will notice that there are signs that this is happening, and there is proof and there is science coming out about this. I released a video earlier and I've spoken about this before in my previous videos, where I touched on the Arcturians and the Schumann resonances, and also another video on my Schumann resonances, on the Schumann resonances. Okay, so Gaia energetically responds due to the light flooding the earth plane. There's a correlation between the sun, light flooding the earth plane, and energy. Everything is energy, density being released, and through this process, we are seeing earthquakes. Large earthquakes, very large earthquakes this year. Within this process, this is when the density is being released for Gaia. We are seeing the earthquakes. We are also seeing volcanic eruptions, volcanic unrest. We are also seeing a change in weather patterns. Through this process, there's another video, great video, very short video that I have shared before, that shows a wonderful graphical representation of a solar flare emission, a CME, leaving the sun, the light making its way into the core of the earth, and this gives rise to the auroras that we see in Norway and other parts of the world, the plasma, the sprites. We are seeing beautiful weather patterns, and this is the process, the light flooding the earth plane. We are upgrading our DNA, our chakra energy centers, releasing density for ourselves, grounding it into the earth grids, to the core charged up, light overflows. And in this process, within this process, the time it takes can vary. There is so much light flooding the earth plane. There is a lot of light, and that's why we this year are seeing such a big shakeup. When there's a shakeup internally, there's a shakeup externally, and that's why we are seeing the chaos. It can be unpleasant in times to see what is happening, but this is a blessing in disguise. This is the light in disguise. When there is something dark taking place, there is something equal in magnitude of light taking place at the same time. It is the light being shone on the darkness, because the darkness is no longer in service. And it is time for humanity to embody more light, to be the light, to be love, to be oneness, and to ascend in consciousness, to have a higher perspective, a perspective of love, seeing that everything is perfect and it is no longer in service for a while now, for many, many, many years, to inflict pain on one another. It is releasing, dissolving the distortion. The density is energy, and everything stems from energy. And you'll notice that what's playing out in the world, okay, everything's connected from the energy. So the density that's being released and transmuted, it's happening a little bit at a time, what we can handle. If we had too much light come in, if the magnitude of light was too great, our physical vessels, humanity wouldn't be able to handle it in Gaia. So it is released, very much managed by the Galactic Federation of Light, the Arcturians, how much light floods the earth plane at a time in perfect doses, so that we can manage the purge stages, the ascension symptoms, and we can acclimate accordingly. So the Arcturians work with us individually and collectively. extremely advanced technology. The technology is connected to our DNA. We all have multidimensional aspects, a number of them, not just Arcturians, for example, the Pleiadians, the Sirian aspects, the Essassani aspects, Andromedans, many, many beings of light. Some of them we don't even know of yet. We have many connections, and it all has to do with our like DNA coding, as we share different percentages. And the prominence of the percentage like DNA coding with that multidimensional aspect determines the prominence of the connection. And there is a reason for that prominence, because there is a skill set in the technology of that connection that is assisting us with our creative expression in this reality experience. And being our fullest self, our unique self, emitting our unique frequency of who we truly are, is the most powerful visible impact. The impact is the same, it's just not visible. That's why when we awaken, ascend in consciousness, we see more. We see more of what's going on. We see the truth of who we are and what is happening. And then the impact on how powerful we are as individuals and the impact that we are having becomes visible. So the connection contains the technology that is here to assist in alignment with our fullest selves and our creative expression. And when we are our fullest selves, when we are in a place, a high vibration, a frequency of love, joy, happiness in the childlike state. Like Jesus said, until we become like little children, shall we enter the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven being the fifth dimension, that being a state of consciousness. And in this state, that is when we are our fullest expressions, when we are expressing ourselves, doing what we absolutely love, when we are not working a day in our life. And this is connected to our multidimensional aspects, where they are on another level of intelligence. Their technology, extremely advanced. And through the DNA, plasma also, I spoke about the third energy in a previous video. Plasma acting as a third energy is the vehicle for the communication. So not only, like in the past that has been discussed, is it telepathic? Do individuals channel the information telepathically? It is also energetic. So through like the Arcturians, all right, there'll be many individuals who are listening to this, who have Arcturian aspects. An Arcturian aspect, an aspect of you operating in a high dimensional plane simultaneously. You can look at it as a future version of you, as all realities exist simultaneously, and there's a co-creation, there is connection, there is and are lessons. They are learning from us as well. There's a co-creation. It works both ways. And we get to benefit from this higher intelligence coming in, not only telepathically, but energetically through our DNA and through plasma as the medium of exchange. And plasma, highly conductive. There is no time lag on the information exchanged between yourself and your multidimensional aspect. The plasma makes its way, all right, highly conductive into your physical form, and each chakra energy center is a portal in essence, okay, acts as a portal for the exchange of this information. There are energy exchanges, okay. When you feel the Arcturians or any beings of light come in, you will feel an overwhelming sensation of love, euphoria, filling your entire body. That's 5D consciousness, the Christ consciousness. It is pure bliss. It's when all density within the physical vessel, when all depression, anxiety, anything that has stored itself as density within your field dissolves in a second and is gone for that moment in time. It's euphoria, it's 5D consciousness, it's a higher state of being, higher vibrational state of being. Through the DNA activation, okay, through our chakra energy centers acting as portals, when they come online, okay, that's when we tap into the Christ consciousness. When the crown opens, the soul star, galactic star chakra comes online through the heart, the higher heart. There are many channels of information coming through, not only telepathically, not only just through the crown, but through the medium of plasma, through our DNA. And this is the entire process. And what is happening in perfect amounts, all designed to assist individuals, to free individuals under the illusion of power over another. Since the beginning of time, if you think about it, where all the wars come from, all the hate, all the fear, all based on fear. Okay, keeping individuals living in fear, in a false paradigm, under the illusion that a fear-based reality experience is the only way. And this is all assisting with freeing individuals from this illusion, from the prison that we have created for ourselves, and that other individuals and the density that I speak about within the earth being released through psychological warfare, as I've spoken about, through manipulation, through lies and deceit, have allowed individuals to believe in that thing. It all stems from a belief. Nothing can harm you, nothing can do anything to you. It's just the energy of fear, that lower vibration, and believing in something that is not truth. This is how the individuals for many generations have had a power over another. Through lies, deception, deceit, psychological warfare, manipulation. Now that the density is being released for a while now from the earth, it is so much easier. Okay, there isn't an energy present there as a distraction. And the other individuals cannot work with that energy anymore. The individuals who've been abusing their power cannot work with the energy. The energy is no longer there. They do not have that source available to them. The darkness, as I've spoken about before, also doesn't have access to plasma. The light, when we go through these activations, when you embody light, represent the light, you have access to plasma, where you are able to rapidly manifest. You are able to telepathically communicate with individuals on the other side of the world. You are able to, in divine unions, okay, on a soul level, also with their multidimensional aspects, you are able to communicate with the third energy, the plasma, instantaneously, like with your multidimensional aspects. Twin flames, divine unions, your counterparts, in a safe, secured medium of exchange, in a place where there is no interference, because the darkness from that vibrational state of being does not have access to this plasma. And this is where the Arcturians, as the magicians, play a huge role. The coding, the plasma, the great love they have for humanity, and they are learning from us, all the beings of light within the Galactic Federation of Light. We are the world stage, we are the World Cup. All right, on a universal level right now with the Great Awakening. We are the most exciting thing that has ever happened in the universe right now. Is one of the densest experiences within the universe. Okay, is awakening now, is freeing itself from this prison. And they are assisting us. And it's very, very exciting to see how individuals, because it's free will, everything is free will, are doing this and have done this all on their own for many years, light workers. And we are the ones who are doing this for ourselves and for each other. And it's a triumph of the human spirit. It's a beautiful experience. That's why the darkness has served. That's why self-mastery, to achieve self-mastery, requires the darkness. The darkness was necessary as the darkness wakes us up. All right. And if it was easy, it wouldn't be mastery. If there was just light, there would be no experience. So to go through darkness, to awaken, to ascend in consciousness, is a triumph of the human spirit, and it's mastery. Because when you look back, you see how beautiful it is and how the darkness has served. Because through the polarity of the light and the dark, through a real experience, authentic, real experience of the darkness and the light, there is understanding in the truth of what love is, in the frequency of love. And it is so much better when you get to enjoy the expansive states of being. So the Arcturians are at the forefront. They are the magicians. Beautiful energy, beautiful beings, operating in a number of dimensions, okay, very high dimensional planes. Extremely, extremely advanced beings, working with other beings of light like the Pleiadians, the Syrians, the Essasanis, many, many beings of light, all working together. And they are at the forefront of the solar coding, the light flooding the earth plane through our portal, our sun. And there's a lot of science out there now that is catching up and will be catching up moving forward. Evidence that there is assistance, great assistance. It's on such a grand scale. It's magnificent. And we all have access to this, okay? Each individual, everyone has a multidimensional aspect, many aspects, okay? Everyone is equal. Everyone has a special ingredient with their multidimensional aspects, which makes the individual unique. And the impact from everyone and everything is different and unique, but the same at the same time. So the impact is the same. The expression may be different, but they're all puzzle pieces coming together. We are all puzzle pieces, and every puzzle piece is necessary and an integral part of the whole. And it's all about loving the self, not falling into the fear trap. Okay, only fear. That's only how the darkness works, is through fear. If you stay out of fear, you will enjoy a magic reality experience. Sure, there's a process of releasing the density, but the assistance is here. And the presence of the Arcturians is amplified right now. They are here. What has happened is that enough density has been released beneath the Earth's surface, so there isn't any resistance to the presence of the Arcturians and other beings of light, making very close contact with us and Gaia. There isn't any resistance, so they are able to get very close to us. It isn't dangerous for them. At a time moving back, it was dangerous. Okay, where the beings of light could get hurt if they got too close because of the density, the resistance, the darkness trying to interfere with our connection with these beings of light, with the ascended masters, with the angelics, all beings of light. That's the darkness's role, to keep individuals under the illusion of a disconnection to these aspects and to source, and to keep this information from individuals. The coding, DNA, everything that's taking place, energy carries information. That's why information is coming out in our reality experience right now. The light being shone in the darkness, and information is being presented to the masses. Energy, information. So during this period, and if you'd like to know what multidimensional aspects you have, tap into the heart space to receive the upgrades, to accelerate this process if you would like to. Through meditation, self-care, self-love, through the heart space, connect to the grids. Because right now what is happening is the 5D, and through this process, the 5D and 6D light grids are lighting up. And through the heart space, we are connected to the grids, and we receive the activations through the grids, like an energetic pulse running along the grids, through and around the earth. When the earth lights up, the grids light up, and we connect through the heart space. We acclimate to this frequency, and we receive the upgrades and the information. Loving the self, self-care. During these influxes of light, there are many that are happening all the time. I report on some of the bigger ones. Okay. there are purge stages. So it's uncomfortable, it's unpleasant, and there's the nausea, the vomiting, the headaches, the ringing in the ears, the blurred vision, okay, the aches and pains, the vertigo, off balance, the depression, the crying, those contracted states of being. It's a process of releasing that. So feeling it to release it. And then soon after that, so it's in bursts. The contracted state will be followed by the expansive state, okay? Where we feel the euphoria, the bliss, the joy, the peace, the oneness, the beautiful energy running through the body, where you feel on top of the world. You feel the love. This is the connection to the beings of light. This is the connection to the self. We get to enjoy the expansive states of being. And it gets easier and easier. And it's all to do with loving the self, the inner work that we do, the alignment we find within ourselves. Then the waves of light, the plasma flooding the earth plane, the assistance that comes in isn't so abrupt. There is less friction because there's less resistance in the physical vessel. And the contracted states are fewer and farther between and less, and then eventually it doesn't bother you anymore because you've acclimated to that frequency. You are used to it, you're a like match to the frequency, so it is not abrupt, there is less friction, and it is a smooth sailing process. So tap into your guidance if you want to know who your multidimensional aspects are. And the information will come through in perfect timing. If you don't know yet, there's a reason for that, that's fine. And one day all of a sudden you will tap in and it'll be known to you. It'll be made known, the information will come through. Just know that every single individual on this earth plane has multidimensional aspects, and how to connect with them through the heart space in meditation, self-care, love, conscious intention, ask for it. Acting with integrity from a place of love, embodying the light, is the gateway to this connection. Acting out of alignment will cut off that connection, or at least the illusion of it, because there will be distortion and darkness getting in the way of that connection. Integrity, self-love is the gateway to all these connections and to higher intelligence coming through to us to assist us with our creative expressions. In shifting into 5D consciousness, Gaia shifting into the 5th dimension, heaven on earth. So this is a little bit more about the Arcturians, the magicians of the universe, the role that they are playing with the solar coding, the light, how the earth is energetically responding, how this is assisting us, DNA, our chakra energy centers, acclimating, ascending in consciousness, so that we don't have to experience what no longer serves and what we don't wish to experience anymore, because a lot of it is being perpetuated and is a delay to this ascension. It is no longer necessary. It is just a repeated cycle. And a lot of us are done with that. And the more of us that say that we are done with it, we've had enough, we wish peace, oneness and love, so that will manifest. That's the message for today. Have a magic weekend, everyone, and goodbye for now.